we commence today's program with a discussion on recognizing the value proposition of a sustainable environment, for which I have Ms. Rajeshwari Chandrasekhar, Chief of Field Office, UNICEF Maharashtra, and Mr. Anurag Agarwal, partner at Avishkar Capital. The session would be moderated by Ms. Rama Mohan, CEO of NSE Foundation. I welcome the speakers and the moderator to take on the session.
So a warm welcome to everyone who is here with us today evening. We are going to have a very short session which essentially talks about how we find, when we talk of environment, really what it means for each one of us. So we have two organizations, and the first is UNICEF and the second one is Avishkar. And both of them do phenomenal work in this space. So I'm going to ask Rajeshwari about what exactly is it that UNICEF really does in the space of environment, and really why is it so important for you to work in this space?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks, Rema, for inviting me to this event. I would like to answer your question with one sentence which I think says it all, that the climate change crisis is a children's crisis. The fact that last year in 2020 itself, we had about over 30 million newly displaced people, of which at least 10 million were children who were newly displaced. That speaks of the numbers. And according to UNICEF's Climate Risk Index that has just been released, we know that about 1 billion children, that is half of the world's children, are going to have very severe consequences of climate change in their lifetime, at least one such. It could be a flood, a sandstorm, or a cyclone, whatever, a heat stroke. And of them, we will have at least 860 million children who would face 4 such deprivations in their lifetime. So it clearly shows that the impact of the climate crisis is more felt among the children than in the adults. Also because they are more prone to the vector-borne diseases, they are more prone to the diarrheal diseases, and that's why it's important that UNICEF as a World Children's Organization works for climate change. And as we globally embark upon the 5-year or the 4-year strategic plan globally starting 2022, across 190 countries in the world, not just India, climate change is an important element of our country programs across the 190 countries that I just spoke about. And India is no exception to that. Maharashtra in India is also no exception, more so because of the agroclimatic zones that we have, because of the urban, the rural, and the tribal populations that we have, and also because of the long coastline that the state has. We are actually very, very prone to climate change. What we can do as UNICEF, as an organization, is one part of a larger ecosystem. And I think one of the first things that we can do and we should do, and I'm proud to announce that we have done, is start a curriculum for elementary schools for all children from grade 1 to grade 8, so that they understand and appreciate and respect nature, something that they have seen in their immediate environment and something that they will continue to learn from. It is a knowledge of a pedagogy and cognitive skills-based learning from the known to the unknown. And I think that is why we have invested, and with the Department of Environment in the government of Maharashtra, and under the able leadership of the Honorable Minister of Environment, Mr. Aditya Thackeray, and the Principal Secretary of the department, we have worked with a very technical team in Maharashtra to design an age-specific curriculum. So it's not one book. It's according to the age of the child and the cognitive skills of the child that we slowly build upon what the child can learn, assimilate, and take it forward. Because we believe that if we can make children as green champions, we would have done a big service to the larger world body. So I want to just stop there. Thanks.
Great, Rajeshwari. So here we have somebody who's really invested in the education, which then makes that change in the child who is our future. So coming back to the word investment, I know we are sitting at National Stock Exchange, and the word investment should be something very common. But I'm going to go over to Anurag, and we're going to talk about what are the investments really in the space. And I think you do a lot of impact investing. So really, what do we mean by impact investing? And why is that important, especially when we look at environment as a space or a sector that one needs to invest in? And I would also have a small follow-up question on that, and that is, do you have any success stories that you want to share that where your investments have really scaled up that initiative and really made that difference?
Thank you. Thank you for that. So very quickly, I'll just quickly introduce Avishkar, the company that I represent. So Avishkar started off 20 years ago with this whole idea of taking risk capital to underserved markets, underserved geographies. So when I say risk capital, this is equity investments in very early stage enterprises, what is popularly known as venture capital. And this term impact investing wasn't even coined there. So we started investing in businesses with this dual objective of not only generating a commercial return out of that, so it was investments in for-profit ventures, but at the same time, dealing with low-income communities, either trying to reduce vulnerabilities or increase income in some form through the business. So that was the thought process, and our focus was mostly on low-income communities, which, by the way, I mean, ma'am spoke about children being affected by the climate crisis. It is the low-income communities that are most affected also by any climate change action. So our focus was purely on, increasing income and, getting people out of poverty. So the first few focus sectors for us were financial inclusion, where we've done a lot of work, and also sustainable agriculture. And again, that's a space that, is very closely associated with climate action as well. So these were our primary focus areas, but on our journey over the last 20 years, we've realized that, you cannot ignore the climate space. So in fact, in our new fund that we are just raising, in the process of raising, this is one of the 3 core areas for us. And we have made investments in the past in, you spoke about a case study or a success story. So I want to talk about one of our investments that we made in a waste management company called Nepra Resources. It's probably India's largest dry waste management company, deals exclusively with dry waste. So it's got a very beautiful model. It integrates with rack pickers at the back end, people who are in the business of collecting waste. It sets up these very large material recovery facilities. So it's a company which started off from the city of Ahmedabad, but is slowly expanding across the country. So has already set up these material recovery facilities in Ahmedabad, in Indore, in Jamnagar, in Pune. We're in the process of starting one in Mumbai as well. Also going to other places like Patna, Delhi, Lucknow. So pretty much across the country, the need is very much there. What we do is, whatever waste comes to us, whether through these rack pickers or through the municipalities, we are able to segregate and sort them at scale and are able to resell it to the recyclers. So these are small recyclers. And we are very proud of the fact that zero waste, whatever comes to our recycling facilities, goes to the landfills. So, we are able to derive value out of this. It's a business which is also quite profitable. So we operate at close to about 40% gross margin. When we invested in this company, it was a ranked startup. We started with a $500,000 investment in this company. The company has already raised close to about $40 million. Is growing very fast, more than 100%. It did take a little bit of a hit during the COVID period, but has bounced back strongly. And hopefully, in the next few years, we should see this as a listed company. So it's also generated a lot of financial return, is solving a core problem. So that's essentially the kind of focus that we have in our business, looking at business models that can, be sustainable and create value for the investors, and at the same time create a lot of impact on the ground, and specifically through climate action as well.
Great, Anurag. So I think we've gone from investment in education and the children who are our future to investment in initiatives or companies or projects. And I would just like to take a step back here and say it's also about investment. It's about individual investment in all these things to really create that success. Remember, I read about this, that if somebody makes that little 1% of change every day, the cumulative output of that entire thing is really huge at the end of the year. So I think if each one of us pledges to take something related to the environment, it could be waste management, it could be air pollution, whatever is our cause, and make that little change, that can really go a long way. So thank you so much. Thank you.